Hey everybody, it's Scott Shetler here at Extreme Performance Training Systems. And in today's video, I want to go over a full lower body workout that you could do if you've got nothing more than a set of dumbbells. Now, a lot of people with their home gyms and their home fitness training, they might not have access to a squat rack or a leg press machine or something that's going to allow them to train their legs heavy. But if you've got nothing more than a set of dumbbells, you can get a great leg workout in. So we're going to go through that now. Now I've got an adjustable set of dumbbells here. These are the Power Block dumbbells, and these are one of my favorite home pieces of training equipment because they don't require a lot of space. And one set, the set that I have, gives you fives up to I think about 45 or 50 pounds just in one set, and you can always buy additions to it to get up to even I think up to about 125 or more pounds with one set of dumbbells, which is really cool. So you just got some pins, pull them out to the side, pop them in at whatever weight that you want. Again, they require very, very little space, and they're a great addition for the home gym. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at this lower body workout that we're going to do. It's going to be squats, we're going to do scissor squats, we're going to do Romanian deadlifts, and we're going to do calf raises. That way this workout is going to hit every part of the lower extremities. We're going to get the quads, we're going to get the glutes, we're going to get the hamstrings, we're going to get the calves, the main muscles that we focus on when we're training the lower body. So the first exercise we're going to look at is the squat. Now, one of the ways that I like to do this is kind of a goblet squat sort of format with the dumbbells. What you're going to do is you're going to take one dumbbell and you're going to hold it up at your chest like so. Your elbows are going to be bent and you're going to have the weight very close to your chest. You're not resting it right on your chest. You're just supporting it by tucking those elbows and holding the weight to the front of the chest. Then you're going to take your feet out about shoulder width or slightly wider, and you're going to turn your toes out. If you're imagining you're looking at a clock face, your right foot is going to be turned out to 1 o'clock and your left foot is going to be turned out to 11 o'clock. What this is going to allow you to do is open up your hips as you drop down to the squat. So once you get into your stance, you're going to squat down by sitting the hips back and pushing out on the feet and just sliding that torso right down between the thighs and then driving back up. Now you want to make sure that you keep your heels down and that you're not rolling up onto the balls of the feet as you do your squat. So again, sitting back on the hips, pushing out on the feet, opening those thighs up so your torso can slide right down, and then driving back up. So we want to do, with the squat, I'm going to recommend about 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. So make sure that you select a weight that allows you to get the desired number of repetitions. If you do a set of 12 and you feel like you could do it on 15 or 20, obviously you need to go heavier with the weights. If you can't quite get to 8 or 9 reps, then you probably went a little bit too heavy, so adjust the weights accordingly. We're going to recommend about 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. 8 to 10 reps is usually a good target for that exercise. The second exercise is the scissor squat or the split squat. With the scissor squat or the split squat, it's basically a stationary lunge, all right? So when we get into our position, it's very important. I see a lot of people make this mistake when they're doing a split squat or a scissor squat. They tend to get into their lunge stance as if they're standing on a tightrope, all right? And we don't want to do that. If we look at how when we're standing normally, our feet are directly under our hips. This is the width that we want to use when we're doing our split squats so that we have lateral stability. If I'm like this, like on a tightrope here, I'm not going to have very good lateral stability and I'm going to be waving side to side, especially if I'm holding weights. So I want to make sure that the width of my stance is feet are hip width, and then I'm simply stepping forward to get into my position. Now, the scissor squat position or the split squat position, I'm going to have one leg forward, one leg back. My back leg, I'm going to be up on the ball of the foot. Now, when I do this exercise, I'm not shifting my weight forward and dropping my knee out over my toes so that my weight shifts up on the ball of the foot. Rather, what I'm doing is I'm squatting straight down as if I'm attempting to kneel down on my back knee without it actually touching the ground. So I'm going to squat down as if I'm kneeling on the back knee. It's going to hover a few inches above the ground. I should be able to get my thigh parallel, and then I'm going to push right back up. Now, the majority of the emphasis should be on the front leg, all right? You're going to push a little bit with the back leg, but we are focused on the front leg. So this one you should feel in the quad, in the glute, and the hamstring. We're going to recommend 3 to 4 sets of, again, about 8 to 10, 8 to 12 reps. I like that 8 to 12 rep range because that is a good rep range for building muscle. If your goal is muscle hypertrophy or you're trying to tone up those muscles, 8 to 12 is a really good range, provided you're using a load that doesn't allow you to get more than 12, doesn't allow you to get less than 8. All right, so you got to make sure you're selecting the weights appropriately. Now for a lot of people, just doing a bodyweight scissor squat may be plenty as far as the resistance goes, but if you can get 12 pretty easily on each leg, what you want to do is grab a set of dumbbells, and you're just going to hold them at the sides. Again, the technique is the same. We're going to squat down as if we're attempting to kneel on that back knee, and then drive it straight back up. And again, 3 to 4 sets of about 8 to 12 reps is what we're going to go for there. Now our third exercise, after the goblet squats and the scissor squats, we're going to go to the Romanian deadlift. The Romanian deadlift is a fantastic exercise. It works the lower back, the glutes, and the hamstrings primarily. It's also going to give you a little bit of core work, a little bit of torso work as well because of the bracing that you have to employ to keep your back in a neutral position. Now when you do the Romanian deadlift, it's not a strict stiff-legged deadlift where the knee stays locked. What we're going to do is we push the hips back to activate the glutes and the hamstrings. Excuse me. We're going to allow the knees to unlock. All right. So as I push my hips back, my knees are going to unlock so that I can keep pushing those hips back as I fold. But what you see is my shins remain perpendicular to the ground. My knees aren't drifting forward, right? So I'm going to push those hips back, the knees unlock. As I go down, notice my head, I'm not looking up and extending the neck. I'm keeping my neck in neutral alignment with the rest of my spine, looking straight down at the ground, and then I drive my hips forward, locking out the knees and locking out the hips. So to do this exercise, you're going to take your weights. You're simply going to hold them to the front of the body. Your stance is going to be about hip width apart, okay? And then from there, you're going to hold your breath. You're going to brace those abs. Stick the glutes back. Let the knees unlock so you're stretching out those hamstrings. Again, no movement in the back. And we hinge at the hips, squeezing the glutes, driving the hips forward to lock out. All right, so that's your Romanian deadlift. Now we're going to recommend about 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps of that as well. And then we're going to finish up with a calf exercise. We're going to do a single-legged calf raise. All right. So now to make this exercise effective, I guess you could do this off the ground, but to make it more effective, you want to find a block or something that's elevated by maybe 3 or 4 inches so that you can drop your heel lower than your toes so that you can get a bigger stretch in the calf. You can work it through a better range of motion. A lot of people, what I have here is an adjustable decline bench. I'm just going to use the back foot of this. You can see my toes much higher than my ankle there, so I'm going to get a good range of motion. But what a lot of people who train at home, even if they don't have a bench or they don't even have a block or something to use, I've seen people use a brick, seen people use some thick mats. But if you've got a staircase, you could also use the bottom step, and then you can use the rail for balance as you do this exercise. Because to perform this exercise, what we're going to do is we're going to take one of our dumbbells, and we're going to hold it. I prefer to hold it on the side that I'm working. So if I'm working my left calf, I'm going to hold it in my left hand. And then my right hand is going to be my balance hand. So if I've got a bench or if I'm doing it on my staircase, I'm going to hang onto the rail. I don't want to push with my hand. I just want to use it for balance so I can do the exercise well. So we're going to get the ball of the foot right on the edge of the step or the block that you're using. You don't want to go with the toes because your toes might slip off. We want to actually put the ball of the foot up on the edge of the step. And then my free leg, I usually like to wrap around the top of the calf or just kind of hold back in a leg curl position because we're just working the one leg. From here, I'm just going to drive up onto my toes, flexing that calf muscle, and then slowly lower down until the heel goes back to the ground. So again, this is your one-legged calf raise. Now we're going to work the reps a little bit higher on this one. We're going to go for 3 to 4 sets of about 12 to 15 reps for the single-legged calf raise. As far as your lifting tempo on these exercises, I want you to focus on slow, controlled movements. You don't need to go super slow, but the slower you go, the more you can focus on creating muscular tension as you're doing these exercises. So don't just pop down and up out of the squats. Make sure that you're tensing up the glutes, the quads, the hamstrings, the abs. You're holding that weight in the goblet squat position and you're bracing your abs and you're holding your leg muscles tight, pulling yourself down, keeping a lot of tension on the muscles being worked. Unfortunately, if we're talking about the home gym scenario, if we do have a set of dumbbells, it's not like, if you do have heavy dumbbells, that's great, but if they only go up to 40s or 50s, you're going to find that in certain exercises like the squats where you're really strong or your deadlifts really strong, you might not, you kind of run out of weight. So one of the ways to get more work out of the muscles is to go slower and increase the tension. So like if I'm doing my Romanian deadlifts and I've only got 40-45 pound dumbbells, but I'm pretty strong, let's say that's not enough even for a higher rep set of 8 to 12 or something like that, I'm going to pretend I'm lifting 200 pounds or 300 pounds, 400 pounds. I'm going to grind down, I'm going to stay tight, I'm going to create a lot of tension as I'm doing that exercise. Really squeeze the muscles as hard as you can and really bring your mental focus to the muscles being worked. And that's one way you can get more out of having lighter weights. So again, sometimes the home gym scenario isn't optimal, but what I want to do with these videos is to give you some ways to get the most out of the equipment you have access to. So to recap, this is our lower body workout. We're going to start out with the Goblet Squat for 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps. Again, keeping that tempo slow and increasing the muscular tension. Then we're going to move on to our Scissor Squat or the split squat, the stationary lunge. We're going to go 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 of those. Again, keep that tempo, that rep tempo slow and really grind those muscles out. Focus on increasing maximum muscular tension while you're doing it. So again, 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12 on each leg. Then we're going to go to our Romanian deadlift, 3 to 4 sets of 8 to 12. And then we're going to finish up with a single-legged calf raise. We're going to push those reps a little bit higher. We're going to go for 3 to 4 sets of 12 to 15. Again, focusing on a slow, controlled movement throughout the entire range of motion. So again, you don't need a lot of equipment to get a great workout for the legs. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you want some specific help with any of your programming, I do offer an online coaching program and an online consultation program where I help people put together home gyms, and I help people put together training plans to go with their home gyms that they have, or if you're back in training at your regular big box gym or fitness center that you go to if it's opened up now. But I do offer online coaching and consulting. I do offer some video feedback if you're looking for technical exercise correction and things like that. So feel free to reach out to me at scott@eptsgym.com if you're interested in inquiring about my coaching program. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that subscribe button down in the corner of this video. That way you get updates on future videos that I put out. If you've got any suggestions for topics that you'd like to see addressed, or if you've got questions, Q&A, anything that you want addressed in a future video, you can email me at scott@eptsgym.com, or you can DM me on social media. I'm active on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or you can just leave them in the comments below the video. And hopefully you're enjoying these videos and you're getting a lot out of them. And until next time, stay strong and stay healthy.